and he was like, I think that you should get out of the program, because at the end of the day, people are always trying to sell you their program, and they're always going to say that their program is the best. It's Rotc coming out with a new video for y'all. So today it's definitely gonna be a story time video. So as you guys have read from the title, then you are aware that this is basically my video of my story time of why I decided to leave the program of ROTC. So if you guys have watched my 2 previous videos, then you guys can see the elements of how ROTC falls into my life as of lately, especially in like giving you guys the update over like me choosing to go into ROTC and being a transfer student. And so I do intend to do several videos about college itself, like transfer shock, in this video that you're currently seeing right now, in terms of why I'm deciding to leave the program and why I no longer want to pursue having a contract. In addition to that, I am also going to be doing a couple of videos as well. So with that being said, let's get on to the video. But don't forget to give this video a like if you like it, comment, share, and subscribe, and do all of that jazz. So yeah, let's get on to the video. So for starters, I want to start off with essentially why I wanted to join, what my experience was in joining the program, and all of that jazz. So if you guys don't know, I've been enlisted for 4.5 years. I've been enlisted in the State National Guard for my particular state, and I wanted to, of course, progress my career in that, and for it to help me in possibly getting civilian jobs as well. I am more interested in pursuing a career in the civilian side rather than just the military itself. I do want to keep that a part of my lifestyle because it's been in my lifestyle ever since I was 17, and I do actually enjoy being part of the military. My specific branch is the Army. So with that being said, during the summer I ended up graduating. Well, in spring I graduated in May, and then during the summer I was working as well as attending my annual training with my unit. So with that being said, I started to have several different ideas because of course I was transferring over to a 4-year university, and I was going to, of course, do my first semester there and be a junior and finish off my bachelor's of arts in this particular institution. I started thinking of ways, you know, I'm almost going to be getting out of the guard in the sense that I have 1.5 years left in my contract, and I want to continue to progress my career in the National Guard side, but I also plan on still being a student and still having a job in the civilian side, and that's why I never wanted to pursue going active. So with that being said, I ended up talking to like my XO, which is the executive officer in my unit, and I was like, hey, I know that you went through the ROTC path, like what did you end up learning? Do you recommend that this is a path that I should take in order for me to become an officer? And he pretty much said, yes, I do agree. And I was like, you know what, why not give it a try? It doesn't hurt to possibly set up an appointment with the ROTC office. So towards the end of my training, which was at the very end of July, tailoring into the early couple days of August, I ended up going ahead and emailing / calling to the ROTC office to possibly set up a meeting with pretty much the people that work there and see like, what do I have to do? What are the prerequisites that I need in order to attend ROTC in this particular school and get into the program? So if you guys don't know, there is this class called MS, which is military science. So whenever I say MS, I'm pretty much referring to the military science course of the university that I am attending. So MS1 is pretty much your freshman year, MS2 is your sophomore year, MS3 is your junior year, and MS4 is your senior year. And then there's a thing called MS5, which essentially could be like you're a student in a graduate program, and you're possibly pursuing your master's, or you're elongating your stay, but you are pretty much almost done, and that's why you're considered MS5. So you're pretty much already did all the stuff that you had to do for ROTC. Anyways, so I was going in there with the intent to get into the MS3 class because of course it aligns with the fact that I'm a junior and I have attended basic training and that I have also attended advanced individual training. So my MS1 and my MS2 year, I pretty much already learned all of the things that I need to learn, anywhere from leadership skills to, you know, how to read a map, to how to use a compass, and all that stuff that you end up learning, and writing styles and all that jazz. And I wanted to go into my MS3. So for the purpose of this video, we'll be using alias names. So the person I talked to was Mr. Smith, and Mr. Smith is someone who is prior, who's been an officer before. and they're a little bit on the older side, and I'm over here talking to Mr. Smith, and I'm over here like, you know what, I really want to join, I'm part of the Guard, like what do I have to do? He essentially was saying, you know, you have 49 credits, you're transferring over, you need to figure out when you're going to be graduating. And in my brain I'm like, that doesn't correlate. I graduated my associates, that means I need to have 60 credits. And what ended up happening was that I needed to submit my last transcript with my official grades from the last couple of classes I took at my community college that I had attended the previous semester. So of course I went to my advisors, they let me know that this is what I had to do. I submitted my transcript, and once that was done I had my 60 credits, which meant that I am now a junior rather than a sophomore. So I go back in to Mr. Smith, meeting with him a second time, and before that he had told me that I needed to fill out this form that essentially details exactly how many classes I'll be taking for each semester, to find out when I'm going to graduate, and this very specific class that I'll be taking, the course name, the course number, which semester I'm going to be taking it to graduate, possibly in spring of 2021. Which is essentially when I plan on graduating as a senior in my 4-year university. But with that being said, he was looking at it, he was like, okay, this checks out. He was like, I don't really think that you're going to be able to get into the military science course, which is the 300, military science 300, just because that particular class is filled up. That particular class is filled up, and I don't think there's any slots. I have to go ahead and talk to the major. So for the purpose of this video, we'll call him Major like Albertson. So he was like, okay, so he goes talk to Major Albertson. He comes in, he was like, okay, what was your GPA before? What is your PT score from before? Because of course, like, I've been in the actual National Guard, so I've been tested on these things before, and obviously I've came from a different college. So I'm over here telling him, he was like, yeah, unfortunately we don't have slots in the MS300 class. So with that being said, you pretty much are going to have to be in the MS2 class, which means you cannot graduate in 4 semesters, you have to graduate in 6 semesters, and you have to keep a minimum of 12 credits in every single semester. So with that being said, you can't take 15 credits a semester, you have to take 12 credits plus this 1 credit, which is the MS2 class, and then you'll have 13 credits, and you'll be keeping up, and you have to basically go ahead and tell your advisors this, and that just means that you're going to be graduating a year later rather than spring of 2021. You'll be graduating in spring of 2022. And I'm over here sitting like, okay, am I willing to take this? Am I willing to accept this? He's like, I'll give you some time to think about it. So I thought about it, and I kind of just like processed that in my brain and everything, and I started talking to all the other people that were helping me, you know, kind of giving me some advice and stuff, and they were like, you know what, I think it's worth it, like, you're in college right now, like, you can get some sort of scholarship out of it. But the thing is, guys, that the person or what is paying for my school is the National Guard. So I'm just like, I'm not even really requesting per se money. I'm not over here like requesting for a scholarship. I'm simply requesting a contract. And to be honest, guys, it's a very, very, very difficult program to be in when you're trying to balance school, work, and you're also balancing extracurricular activities, and you're trying to keep at least a minimum of a 3.8 GPA, and you're trying to keep up with your fitness and everything. It is doable. I will say that it is doable because, guys, I'm doing it right now. Okay, I'm not gonna sit here and be like, this is the worst of the worst programs. Like, no, it's a great program and you're gonna learn a lot. But I wasn't necessarily learning anything very, very new to me in my MS2 year, and I did happen to go to lab with the MS3s, and I was like, wow, I'm actually like learning a lot from this particular lab right here, because this is the junior year portion of the military science class. So I was a little upset, and then finally, after some realization, I figured out that I don't think that this is the correct program for me to be in, just because I know that I want to graduate in 2 years rather than 3 years, and they want me to graduate in 3 years. And I was very upset with the fact that I wasn't going to be able to graduate in 2, just because I know that I want to pursue my master's, and there's so many other things that I want to do, and being part of the program doesn't allow me to try to have certain internships or to, you know, possibly try different avenues that I wanted to try. So with that being said, I'm also part of Hispanic Student Association in my university. We ended up having this meeting for the Hispanic Heritage Month, and we went and we got invited, and I ended up meeting a couple of people that work in the State Department. And guys, the whole reason I joined the Guard, and the whole reason that I'm studying government, and the whole reason I pursued an associate's in political science and all that stuff, was essentially to be a diplomat and work in international relations and learn about all that stuff and see what difference I could make. So I wanted to essentially be a diplomat. And so I'm over there and we're listening to the panel and they're talking about, you know, their career progression and how they got to those positions. And we're gonna call this person Mr. Jenkins. And so Mr. Jenkins was one of the people that was part of the panel, and he had been an officer before, and he has served multiple different places and has been deployed in multiple different places, and he was a special agent and all this stuff. And I was just so intrigued by his career path. And I went up to him after the panel was over and I said, hey, like, my name is Carmen Posada, like, I'm very interested to figure out, like, what was your transition between your military career heading over to the public side, and just, like, you know, how do you feel about being a public servant now? Like, what was your transition? So I let him know what I was doing, and he was like, I don't think that it's worth for you to be in college, you know, for an extra year just for you to get a military contract when you could possibly do OCS, which is Officer Candidacy School, or you could, you know, try to do the state OCS, which you do 2 years of it. You could do the federal, you could do fast track, and you can try to just get a different contract. And what I said was that my contract in the National Guard will be ending in 1.5 years. It's just like, you know, I could graduate in 2, and then once I'm done with, like, my contract, I'll be done by then, and then I could probably venture off to try and going into different branches like the Air Force or the Navy, and go into military intelligence. And so these are all the different things that I was, like, thinking about. And he was like, I think that you should get out of the program, because at the end of the day, people are always trying to sell you their program, and they're always going to say that their program is the best, but you know that you want to finish school. So I'd recommend you finish school, that you go ahead and you join different organizations, and that you get internships under your belt so you could sell yourself in the private world, you know, out to the public, rather than just staying military. And you could still be in the military because you're doing the Guard. And I would recommend going to different recruiting offices and trying to see, like, what it is to become an officer through that route. And instead of trying to juggle school and military together to try to get this contract, and you're not necessarily trying to go active, then I suggest that you go ahead and, you know, try to look at other branches. And so I was very much interested in that, and I was like, I feel like this was kind of like the seal of what I was thinking about, and it just kind of like sealed the deal that this is no longer a program that I need to continue to pursue, just because it's not allowing me to grow within possibly getting a, you know, a resume that's going to help me in the private world, you know, outside of the military, is going to help me out in the public, rather than just being in the military. And obviously, like, I've done my time being in the National Guard, and I still continue to be in it. And with that being said, who knows if in 1.5 years from now I'm still going to want to be in it, or re-enlist or extend. And my intentions are to extend my contract though while I'm still in school, just because I decided that I do want to venture off to get a master's. So with all of this being said, right, he was just like, I just don't think that it's worth for you being in a school for an extra year just to get a contract, when there's other ways you could do it, and there's faster ways for you to do it, or there's ways for you to prolong it while you still focus on your education. And so I ended up making the decision that I no longer want to be part of the program. So of course, that same day I ended up calling my sergeant, who's one of my instructors, and I said, hey, like, this is, you know, Cadet Posada, I'm interested in possibly meeting with you. And then this particular Monday I ended up having the AUSA event, which is an event where all these different organizations come in and they showcase, like, their work to the pretty much people in the Army specifically, over, like, different stuff that they're working on, or possible career opportunities, or what benefits you have, and all that jazz. So with that being said, after that event, I ended up talking to my sergeant, and I was like, I'm no longer possibly, you know, I'm no longer going to be showing up to formations that I don't need to show up to. I am currently a part of student government, so student government takes up a good chunk of my time. You know, you have to be in 2 different committees, you have to show up to the actual Senate meetings, you have to do a certain amount of events within a month that you have to volunteer for, mandatory events you have to attend, and then other events that are not mandatory but are required for you to attend to be able to be serving your time. You're also going to be having meetings with other people that possibly want to change anything around the university, so you're able to help. And I just got appointed to the military liaison, so now I'm in charge of pretty much talking to, like, faculty members and other students that are affected within the community for our university and how I can better assist and better help them. So with that being said, there's all these different ways that I'm helping the community, and that by itself, this just particular one organization, is taking up a good chunk of my time. So imagine when you're doing that, you're also trying to do your own research and homework, and you're also, you know, dealing with PT 3 times a week, which doesn't seem like a lot, but when you're commuting and you gotta go to PT and you gotta go and do a little bit of like that company time with each other and then go back and commute back, it takes up a lot of time. So essentially I was spending anywhere between 15 to almost 20 hours a week just being part of this program, whether that included commuting and then heading to class and then heading to lab and all this stuff. And I want to make sure that I'm using and utilizing my time to better help my community. And so I know that I'm still part of the military, and I've enjoyed being part of the military, and it's something that I'm very close and dear to my heart, and it's been part of me since I was 17, and I'm so happy that I've had the experiences that I've had. But as of right now, my main focus is to focus on my education and better helping the community. And so this was a decision that I ended up making, and it's a huge decision because you're potentially shutting down a path for you as of right now that could potentially help you later. You're just prolonging it for later because I really want to focus on different internships. And guys, if I end up getting an internship, which I'm currently going through the whole like writing the cover letter, getting recommendation letters, all that jazz that I could do, you know, in order to get to the positions that I want to, I have to do that. And so when I do end up getting one of these internships, I will definitely keep you guys informed. But this is essentially just a quick little story time to give you guys an essence of kind of like where I'm at right now. You know, if you guys don't know, I am currently pursuing a Bachelor's of Arts in Government and International Politics. My particular concentration is international relations, and then I'm also pursuing a minor in international security. The master's that I'm possibly thinking of going ahead and pursuing is the international security master's, which is like a huge thing for me because, you know, if you guys don't know, I'm a first generation student, and so being part of college was definitely different than ever being in high school, and I had to learn everything from the root up to learn what the process is to even get into a college and what I needed, and you know, why a GPA matters and why certain paperwork matters, and you know, I needed to learn everything from the ground up. And so I'm so happy that I've had the ability, and I'm so fortunate to have had the ability to attend the previous college and get an associate's, and then to also just be in a 4-year university and be the first in my immediate family to be able to do it. So I'm forever grateful for my parents. I'm forever grateful for the advisors that have helped me along the way. I'm forever grateful for people who have mentored me and who continue to still mentor me throughout this entire time in my life. And I am someone who constantly is trying to make sure that the community is, you know, well prepared and happy, and not just like from a political standpoint, but from an emotional standpoint, that everybody is treated equally, and I care for people's rights and I care for all that. So I want to be a voice, and so that is essentially what I've been doing with you know, Student Senate. And it is obviously from a university level, and people from my university learn about me and stuff, but I also want to be someone who doesn't just stick to the university level. I want to go out and venture out to the rest of the community where I'm from. So with that all being said, now you guys know essentially why I decided to let go. It wasn't because I gave up. It wasn't because it was too hard. Guys, it's just, you know, if you want to stick to something, you really have to give it your all. And I don't want to give you only 50% of me or 80% of me. I want to be able to dive myself into 100% and be absolutely immaculate in all the work that I do. And I really care dearly about the work that I put out, because it's not about quantity, it's about quality. So with that being said, I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Give it a big thumbs up. If you are thinking about joining ROTC, then go ahead and let me know down below. If you decide to get out of the program, there's other reasons why other people leave for the program, and just know that it's not the easiest way to do college, and they definitely put in work. And I'm so thankful for the program as well, and I'm thankful for the instructors that I've had. I'm still part of the program for the rest of the semester, don't get me wrong. It's not like I could just withdraw whenever is the withdraw period is finished. Like, I'm still doing things that I have to show up mandatory, obviously, but I'm going ahead and pursuing other organizations as well that's gonna help, you know, stand out with my resume and all that jazz. So thank you so much for watching. That's it. Enjoy the rest of your lovely, beautiful day or night if you watch this at night, and bye bye.